Why hello there, this is BlueLord and I'll be summarising the preliminary of the COMP1 2015 Skeleton Code, or in other words, Capture the Sarrum. Now, firstly I'm going to introduce you to the board. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about how to find the coordinate, the board pieces and the rule of which they move. Now, here's the board. The dimension of the board is 8 by 8. The selected numbers here in green, these are called the files, and the selected numbers here in red are called ranks. Now it's sort of like the x and y coordinates. So as you can see here, this green box here is in the third column, but this is also the third file, and this red box here is in the fifth row, but it's actually the fifth rank. If we bring back the file here, you can see there's an intersection here, and we can find out the coordinate of this intersection by stating the number of the file and then the number of the rank. So that will be 3, 5, because it's in the third file and the fifth rank. Now, here's the first piece. This piece is called the Sarrum, obviously. If this piece is captured, then that's game over. There's only one piece for this, obviously. So I'd just like to say it's like the king, because he can move in any direction but one square, but it's not. Just on a side note, try not to call the pieces by the chess name, so it's easier to remember in the exam, and most of the pieces have different rules of travelling anyways. Which makes them completely different from the other chess pieces. The reason why it's good to memorise the names that AQA has given these board pieces, the Sarrum, for example, has a coded letter of S, and that will be displayed in the coded output of the game. So to identify it is very important. So WS stands for white Sarrum and BS stands for black Sarrum. So as I said, this piece moves in any direction but one square. So it can move forwards, right, left, back, and diagonally. That's all directions but one square. Now here's the next piece. It's called the Mars's Panty, and it's right next to where the Sarrum sits, just like where the queen is located on the chessboard, except this is not like the queen at all. It's called the Mars's Panty, and the coded letter for it is M. So the white Mars's Panty and the black Mars's Panty, and basically it can move vertically or horizontally by one square, but it cannot move diagonally. So as you can see here, it's moving vertically, horizontally, back, forth, left, right, but one square. Here's the Naboo. With Naboo, there's two pieces of Naboo. One is next to the Mars's Panty and one is next to the Sarrum. Now, it's opposite of the power of Mars's Panty, because instead of moving horizontally or vertically, it moves diagonally by one square. So it can't actually move horizontally or vertically. Its only power is to move diagonally by one square. So that's WN, by the way. So N is the coded letter for the Naboo. So here, you can see it's moving in one square, but diagonally, and it cannot move horizontally or vertically. Now here's the Etlu. There's two pieces of Etlu which are beside the Naboo on each side. This piece is sort of trying to imitate what the knight does in chess, except it moves differently. That's why this piece is by its own Etlu, and the coded letter for that is E. So there's white Etlu and black Etlu. So it's important to memorize the letters, the first letter of it, because when you see WE in the actual coded output of the game, you won't even recognize it if you don't know what it is. So it's quite important. So what the Etlu does, it can move in vertically or horizontally, but it has to be two squares. It cannot be one square, and it has to be two. An extra aspect is that it can also jump over other pieces. So as you can see here, the etlu can move back, forth, left, right, 2 pieces, and you can also jump over a piece if it has to. Now, here is the Gisky gear, which is at the corner of the chessboard. There's it's actually does have the same rules as the castle in chess. It's called the Gisky gear. The coded letter for it is G. It can basically move horizontally and vertically at any number of squares, but it cannot jump over other pieces. So as you can see here, it's moving any number of squares that it likes. Right, and here we have the last piece, which is sort of like the pawn in chess, but it's called the redum. Now, the redum, the letter for it is R, obviously. There's 8 of them, so it's in front of all the other pieces, and it's basically exactly the same as pawn in chess. It moves 1 square at a time forward, and if there is a piece that is diagonally but directly in front of the redum, then you can take that place. Also, when the redum moves to the back, so if it's for example, if the white redum moved all the way to the first rank, which is all the way at the back where initially the black redum would be, then it will be promoted into a Marder Panty, and a Marder Panty can move in forward, back, left, right, so basically horizontally and vertically by 1 square. So as you can see here, if this was the white redum on this side, it will be moving 1 square forward. If this was the black redum, it will also move forward. As you can see, if the black redum actually moves to the end of the rank, so this is the 8th rank, then it will be promoted into a Martyrs Panty, and then it can basically move horizontally or vertically by 1 square. Now, that's the end of this episode. Thank you very much. Subscribe for more. I'm going to do a breakdown on the skeleton code, but that's Python. So if you're interested, please subscribe. And I hope you've learnt a lot from this. Okay, thanks.